Baku-Khankendi moving ahead.
Welcome for the final time, day 5, the last stage of the newly minted Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race, the last edition 2017. So for the first time in 9 years, we are going to crown a new winner. Highlights of stage 4. It was a day with a large breakaway of 9 riders. 2 riders remained, Pablo Carrascosa and David Gonzalez of the Medellin team. And then on our way to Naftalan, there were many attacks from the sprinter teams with Bardiani CSF at the front. In this small village, the 2 last remaining riders were caught. We know that the winners of the first stages are not in this group anymore, so we're looking for a new sprint winner, and it is the man in the light blue with the blue helmet of Bardiani CSF 7 Sabre, Marco Manenti, first professional win.
My DS direct sportive believe in me, and my teammates believe in me in this sprint, and this is for all the team.
He was joined on the podium by Henak Moulabaran. What a great moment. And Christian Pita, Sander Inion, Mohamed Hafiz, Hugo Asnar, Fedorov, Kasorski, Lefevre and Pfingst are the other riders in the top 10. This man is still our race leader. He's got 4 seconds on Alex Balmer, 8 on Moulabaran. Although Moulabaran did take some bonus seconds earlier. Fagundes Gate, Asnar Kovili, Berade, Burnett, Teugels. And then we got another 11 riders in that 19 seconds mark. Points classification, very tight at the top. Christian Pita managed to get the maximum points at the first sprint. He's now the virtual leader. Lennart Teugels will have to work hard for the 2 remaining climbs, although he's got a nice little lead on Alex Balmer for that red jersey, that mountain classification jersey. And the same goes for Iker Gomez. He's got a good gap on the competition in the best young rider classification. 2:08 on Matusewski, the 19-year-old from Poland. We are always looking at the magnificent Caucasus Mountains. Highest mountain in Europe is, of course, Mount Elbrus, right in this country, quite a while from here, to be honest, but over 4,000 meters, I think near 5,000 even, is Mount Elbrus. This is the start town of today. It's called Tartar. It's not a very big town. It's a very new town because lots of this town was rebuilt after the First and Second War between Armenia and the Nagorno-Karabakh region, and that is where we are racing. And if you followed some news in the past 20 years, Nagorno-Karabakh might be a name that you remember, a disputed area to the in the south of the country where we are racing today. We start in Tartar and we finish in the town of Khankendi, the name giver of this race as well. And this is our start. It's a rather flat, open and empty start. Nothing here because this was the place where war took place. There's a lot of landmines still here, tens of thousands of landmines. So it was actually called on the race radio to maybe not go for a stroll here. Empty countryside after the war took place here, and then we move into the mountains. The Lesser Caucasus, as they're known, with the highest point of today's stage at 1,461 meters. That is that second cat climb. Then we have a small descent and we climb to 1,448. And then in the finished town, we also have a climb to finish it off of 2.7 kilometers, almost 5% average. This day is going to decide who wins the overall of this 5-day stage race in Azerbaijan. "125 riders took the start for this final stage, 181.5 kilometers. There's the man in green, Marco Manenti, celebrating his maiden professional win yesterday, and he was so happy about it. And there we go, the jerseys on the first row. Yevgeny Fedorov in blue, Marco Manenti in green, Lennart Teugels in red, and Iker Gomez in the white jersey. Start was given 8:20 local time. Another early start for the riders, enabling us to show you this race right before the Giro d'Italia starts later. It's a lovely day for a bike race, 24 degrees Celsius, which is the high 70s Fahrenheit. Hardly any wind, a little bit of tailwind on the finish climb and a cross tailwind in the final 400 meters. But after that climb, I do not expect a big peloton to make it all the way to the finish. We have started climbing and we did so from about 80 kilometers from the line. And with almost 3,000 meters of elevation, this is what they call the Queen Stage. It will decide who wins the overall. And we've got quite a few candidates for that title. Here we are with the live images as we are just about to enter a tunnel. We see the remnants of our breakaway of 8 riders. Oscar Sevilla was the first to go into the tunnel and the first to exit it as well. But a few riders are still with him. We had an intermediate sprint that was all the way at the start. Sebastian Pita took the points there. And that means that he's now the virtual leader in the points classification. Mulleberan took 2 bonus seconds. So that is important to take into account. He's now 6 seconds down on Fedorov. The second sprint at 96 kilometers from the line, that was taken by the riders in the breakaway with Raman Ciscu, Eduard Perez, Landaluze, Jorben Laurijsen, Arne Santi, František Matuszewski, Jonathan Kerkhoffs, Mohamed Selian and, well, Oscar Sevilla. Equipo Pharma at the front. They have 2 riders in that 19-second bracket. Or 3 actually. Hugo Esnar is at 18 seconds. So it is a team to look at. We have Leaning Star with no less than 4 riders within contention of winning the overall today. And here we are with our breakaway, 32.8 kilometers to go. We're looking at Jorben Laurijsen in the middle, Eduardo Perez Landaluze at the back, and at the front, Michael Hutchinson's favorite rider of the race, Oscar Sevilla.
Yeah, Oscar Sevilla.
Good morning.
I was thinking, Jose, we've been talked about him a couple of times and hadn't seen him, and there he is.
Right on cue.
In all his glory, all 49 years of him.
These are the remnants of a breakaway of originally 8 riders. We also had Leaning Star rider Raman Ciscu. Arne Santi, the teammate of Laurijsen of Tartelette Iserex, was here. František Matuszewski of the Mazovsje Zerske Polske team. Jonathan Kerkhoffs of Universe Cycling was also up here. And Mohamed Selian of the team with the name ASC Monsters Indonesia. I love the name. But Mohamed Hafiz, their sprinter, had 2 top 5 places in the sprint, so a good result there for the young man from Indonesia. But yeah, the ASC Monsters Indonesia, that is a cool name.
Kern Pharma decided to take this on.
Yeah, they got a few riders within contention of actually winning it. Oscar Sevilla's a little bit further back in GC. This is all about yeah, showing. I love the jersey. It's very nice. Although the shade of the jersey is slightly different than the shade of the bib shorts, but I like it. And Oscar Sevilla, we've talked about him a lot, Michael. A man who started his career in 1998 with the team of Kelme in the time of Fernando Escartin even. So that is how long ago that was. It is a lifetime. Many of the riders in the current peloton were either not born or just in preschool.
It's like saying a stegosaurus grazing in a field, isn't it? They're always kind of, it's one of the things in pro cycling. There are always a handful of old pros. David Rebellin, before unfortunately his incident, was another one. There are always a handful of riders who just clearly enjoy what they're doing, or have some sort of obsessive disorder. But let's assume he's enjoying it.
Or just don't want to be home.
Yeah, and I think I find it kind of reassuring for the rest of us.
We are on the climb, the top of the climb, this second cat climb. It's indicated at 7.7 kilometers, 4.6% average, is indicated at 23 kilometers from the line. So our leaders are just about to start. But as we can see from the road here, this has been up and down for the majority of the last 50 kilometers, with gradients well into the double digits. And yeah, especially the descent that we're going to do is going to be sketchy according to the road book, the last descent. Because first we have this second category climb, and then after a very short descent we start climbing again for a first cat climb. So of course we're looking for the man in the red jersey, whether he can get points. If the three leaders are still ahead, it looks very positive for Lennart Teugels, because it means his direct rival Alex Balmer won't be able to take any points. And on the other hand, Michael, we already established yesterday that Balmer of the Solution Tech Nibble Rally team is probably after the GC and not so much after the KOM jersey.
Yeah, I think that's right. He said that, and yeah, looking at the situation, I would think that'll be his priority. He is second place at the minute. He's only 4 seconds on. He's the only rider who could overtake Evgeny Fedorov on the line on time bonuses. So.
And Mullebaran as well. He's on -6 now.
Oh, -6. Okay, yes, yeah. You're right. On the other hand, Mullebaran is from the same team as Fedorov, so I don't see that being a major stress to them.
No.
I think they will be very much looking towards Balmer.
But it leaves us guessing, Michael, which card they are going to play for XDS Astana, because Mullebaran, he picked up some seconds. Fedorov did not. We saw in previous stages that Mullebaran was very active in the bonus seconds. He was even on the podium one of the stages, taking 4. So yeah, they have got 2 cards to play, of course, with Yevgeny Fedorov, with Alex Balmer, with Mullebaran, and why not even Aaron Gate, who's still out there at 16 seconds.
Aaron Gate was kind of the rider I was looking at for the GC when we started the race, and in some respects, if you look at him now, you would think of him as being the strongest climber out of that team. So they have a lot of cards to play. I mean, certainly they're in a strong position coming into this.
Most definitely, they leave the work gladly to the Medellin team, who probably didn't get the memo that their teammate is still up the road. So it's a remarkable thing that is happening right here. They don't have any rider, Medellin, to contest the GC, but maybe they'll go for the stage win full gas, and they don't have any confidence in poor old Oscar here. I find it rather optimistic here from sports director Peter Bouwens. Yeah, well, he encourages Jorben Laurijs, which is of course great. He's a good talent, Jorben. He's of course a man from cyclocross, but a long-standing sports director, Peter Bouwens, says, first of all, the gap is 140, 145, that he still has got a good shot to win this, and yeah, it might be a little bit besides the truth there, Michael, what the sports director said.
He's not without any hope. I think it's going to come. Well, it depends. I mean, 140 is a lot more than 1 minute, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm my kind of calculations are based on what I'm seeing on the screen. If there's another 40 seconds, it's not impossible, because there just didn't seem to be. If XCS Astana were lined up on the front at the back in the group, I would be even more pessimistic for them, for example.
This is the region of Akdam, or the city of Akdam. We are in the west of Azerbaijan. It was historically an important regional center for wine, for agriculture, and the cultural life in Karabakh in the first place. but heavily damaged during the first Nagorno-Karabakh war. That was in the early 1990s, and became largely uninhabited for decades and was often described a ghost city. But as you can see, they are undergoing large-scale reconstruction at the moment, and they are part of the broader redevelopment of Azerbaijan, of this region. The Nagorno-Karabakh war, there was actually two of them, Michael, one in the early 1990s and one not so long ago, actually. It ended in 2023. According to Donald Trump, this was one of the 8 wars that he ended, although he said that the war was between Albania and Azerbaijan, which was, of course, 1,500 meters to the west. But almost right. It was almost right.
1,500 kilometers, miles. You said meters, kilometers.
Oh, no, kilometers indeed.
I mean, they all begin with A. It's an easy mistake to make. It's only international diplomacy.
Who cares, you know, Albania, Armenia, it's, well, whatever.
Yeah,
but apparently this is one of the 8 wars that he ended, and it is actually ended, but I don't, he signed the peace treaty, or it was signed at the White House, apparently. So, but yeah, there was a little bit of, muffled laughter about the Albania-Armenia mistake amongst the likes of Macron and other world leaders.
Other soft liberals, yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
the things actually. Sorry, I was going.
But this is actually a region where there was an active war not that long ago, and that's why there's still a lot of landmines that they haven't been able to map just yet. On the side of the road. So it was actually a warning from the race radio to not go out and take a stroll.
I say one of the things we're going to see a lot of on this stage, I think, is kind of slightly iffy roads. The roads for most of the race so far have been really pretty good, but there's a lot of broken up surfaces and some slightly narrower roads here up through the mountains, so a slightly different feel.
We're about halfway onto the climb now, with the gap of our breakaway of 3 that is now down to just 2, plummeting really, really fast. And also the size of the peloton is becoming rapidly smaller as the pace goes up. We still have 2 riders at the front, with Jorbe Laurijsen, the 24-year-old from Belgium representing Tartelett Uzerex, and Oscar Sevilla, almost 50 years of age. And funnily enough, it's actually his own teammates of Medellin EPM who are closing the gap on poor old Oscar.
A little bit mean. This isn't even the climb yet. The classified climb is only, it is just about, isn't it? The classified climb here is 7 kilometers at 4.6%, but it tops out at 23 kilometers to go. And then she said earlier, you said we've got quite really quite a short, only a couple 2 or 3 kilometers, but really quite a steep descent before we kick up again into the first cat climb. This is the second cat climb. The first cat climb, which tops out at 14.7 kilometers to go, and then there is a long, very steep descent. We don't really know that much about how technical it is. It's probably not that technical, just given the width of the roads here. But the question I would have is the quality of the road surface, because there's a lot of road works in this part of the country at the minute. It's very much an area in reconstruction, and Oscar Sevilla has been dropped.
That means Jorbe Laurijsen, the 24-year-old from Belgium, is now in the lead. He is a man who's new to the team. He's, of course, a cyclocross specialist, racing for the Paul Sauze Altes Industriebouw team, as the full name is at the moment. And Laurijsen, many top 10 places, raced the Hope Series as well, early season last year in cyclocross. And if you look at his results on the road, there were no less than 3 stage wins in the Tour of Algeria. Some good results in one-day races in both Belgium, France and Turkey. And he also raced the Pune Grand Tour early January, so his cyclocross season ended rather early. I think he's going to give it a go on the road. And in his first year, he's been very active already. Jorbe Laurijsen is only 24. I think this man, well, judging from what we know, the potential of cyclocross riders, has got the potential to aim for something bigger in the future. But it's great that this team, Tartelett Uzerex, who have been around for quite some time, giving him the shot to find out what he wants and how far he can get.
Yeah, and the team also, they've got 2 riders in that group, 19 seconds back, and that Teugels, of course, has the Mountains jersey, so This is Oscar Sevilla sliding back into the bunch, which suggests that the gap is more like 30 seconds than the one we were Tartaletto were claiming a little bit earlier. So I think maybe someone was fibbing to their rider just to try and provide a little bit of encouragement. But I suspect he is going to get hoovered up quite quickly, and then we'll just see if the complexion of things changes a little bit, because I imagine we're going to start seeing probably attacks probably more on the second climb than the first one. We are getting on towards the top of this climb. We've got about another 3 kilometers to go. But it depends a little bit on what those descents look like, and we don't really know.
No, there's not a whole lot of Google Street View available for this part of the world.
I've been looking at it on sort of Google Earth and trying to zoom in, but it's firstly, it's not terribly helpful, and it also, I don't have a date on the, I don't know what date those images were taken.
Well, let's see if we can, we spot the red jersey. He's on the right-hand side of the peloton, left on your screen, close to Yevgeny Fedorov. We still have got the white jersey, of course. And our green jersey is Marco Manenti. I wonder if he's still around. I guess not. This is quite an elite peloton right now. But Teugels, of course, he's eyeing those points that are coming up. But look at the gradient of these climbs.
Oh, this is steep.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
That end 4.7%.
This part most definitely is not. No, this is well into the double digits.
You can tell if it looks steep on TV, it's steep. Great shot, mind you.
It is a nice shot. It really gives us a good perspective of this road. We need mountain bike gears, just like Anna van der Breggen had in the Tour of Spain in the Vuelta. She was racing mountain bike gears on the Angliru and the Navapraeris climbs.
Team Medellin, of course, do have Diego Camargo in that big group at 19 seconds, so they do also have a GC card that they can play, which possibly explains why they were on the front. A little bit optimistic, I'd have felt, given the size of that 19-second group. I'd have been letting somebody else do it, but there we are.
You are completely right. There's one rider I did not write down, and that is Camargo. Very well, thank you so much. That would make sense. Yeah, Diego Camargo, former rider of EF Education Easy Post. This is a very, very wide shot of the snow-capped Caucasus Mountains.
So one of the things I've noticed about this race is that they're very fond of the long telephoto lens.
Yeah, that sprint that we had the other day was
sort of very foreshortened shots. Yeah, you could kind of sort of see a sprint for, watch a sprint head on for 40 seconds coming at you from a kilometre away through the heat haze. It's quite picturesque, but it can be a little bit difficult to see what's happening. Leading star. Well done, them.
Yeah, they've got 4 riders in that 19-second bracket with Callum Johnston, Christian Railiano, Eduardo Sepulveda and Simon Pelot. Yeah, some of the highest mountains in what we still consider Europe, because this is a race of the Europe Tour, are here in the Caucasus. Some are in Russia, some are in Georgia, but the highest mountain is actually Mount Elbrus, 5,642 meters. That is 18,000 foot or feet. What do you say?
Feet.
Feet. That would make more sense, indeed.
Or you could try foots, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll get away with it, hopefully.
Manetti was still there, wasn't he?
Oh, that is good on him. This is Anatolio Bujak. If I recall correctly from covering this was actually one of the first races I covered as a commentator when I started in Dutch. This man won a stage. It's quite a long time ago, though. Also saying goodbye to the rider of Sport Toto, Mustafa Tikin, as we do to Laurijsen, who was caught, swallowed up and spit out straight away. Iker Gomez there, the Mongolian national champion, is still there. Kaszorski of the Polish team, one of the riders of Mugla at the back, the Turkish team with Rudolf Remke, the Kazakhstan rider. But this is a struggle. Ooh, Lennart Teugels is struggling a little bit.
Yep.
But he has to stay here. He needs these 5 points to be secure. But these are super, super high gradients.
There are 5 points at the top of this hill, and 10 points at the top of the next one, and his lead over Alexander Balmer is 10 points. So he needs to get all the points he can, because I haven't seen Balmer, but I assume he's in here.
He's most definitely here. Yes.
Yeah, number
with
41.
With his teammate Santi Umba, the Colombian rider, as we're on 25 kilometers from the line right now. I'll give you the names of the 23 riders still within contention of the win. Of course, Fedorov, there he is. Balmer at 4 seconds, Mullebaran at 6, Fagundes at 15, Gate at 16, and Hugo Aznar at 18. Aznar finds two teammates as well in that group at 19 seconds, Berade and Uriarte. Burnett and Garcia are the riders for Burgos Burpelet. Corvilli, Martinelli and Tolio for Bardiani. Johnston, Raeliano, Sepulveda, Pelot, I mentioned them for the Leaning Star team. David Delgado is still out there, the Spanish rider. Santi Umba, of course, teammate of Balmer. Teugels and Marchand are at 19 seconds. Breinhoy of the Tirangano team is still in this group. I spotted him. And you mentioned indeed Diego Camargo. And there goes our man, David Delgado, in the colours of the Quick Pro team. Very colourful jersey that is.
We've got a kilometre and a bit to the top, so not surprising we're seeing a little bit of life to it. Be surprised if we see some of the KOM contenders teams trying to shut this down.
Technically, technically there are 4 other riders who could bring home the GC, the KOM, if they take all the points and Teugels and Balmer take none. That is Gonzalez, Tekin, Santi Umba and Jambayan Sambayar. But that is not a plausible scenario. Here's Iker Gomez. He's not in any immediate danger when it comes to losing that white jersey, because he's got a 2-minute 8-second gap on his direct rival.
It's a race for old men though, because he is the white jersey leader. He's 8 minutes down in 29th position. What was the last time we saw a young classification rider as low down as 20, a youth classification leader as low down in the GC as 29th is what I'm trying to say.
I saw one stat that if Paul Sixas, well, he's going to make his debut in the Tour de France, of course, he can wear the white jersey up until 2031, I think.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or 2030, but it's the same with Pogacar in his first years. Always in the white jersey as well. There is the
to the mountain.
The sign that everybody's been waiting for. Takes the pressure a little bit off the legs because we have a slight little descent, although it might be 2%, but after doing 10, 12, 15%, 2% actually feels like 0 or even downhill. That's what my experience is, by the way. But this is most definitely downhill.
I think that's fair enough. The descent off the KOM line is quite short. We were climbing again very shortly after this into the first cat climb. It's like a little fork at the top of the profile. Well, it's really beginning to break up here, just onto the slightly flatter section.
Teugels is here, so he will not be able to take any points. Points will go to the riders at the front. And then it becomes a 2-man race for sure with Teugels and Balmer. If Balmer is at the front at the next climb, which is already at 8 kilometers from now, he might as well just bring home that KOM jersey. But I hope for Leonard that he takes it. This is Josh Burnett, New Zealand rider, and David Delgado. They are our current leaders as we crest the top of this climb. 5 points go to the man from Spain. 3 points to Burnett.
No, we don't quite stop climbing over the line, as you will have noticed. Just drags up a little bit for a few hundred meters.
Hate it when that happens. We have a very short descent now, Michael, don't we?
Yep, it is really only 2 or 3 kilometres. The beginning of the next climb starts again, essentially 19 and a half kilometres. We kick back up again. It's quite a steep descent, and there is a note in the road book saying that it is dangerous. So roads are narrower than some of the ones we've seen, but it's still quite wide. I would be nervous about some of the actual road surface on this descent. Would be the thing I would be worried about if
there might be some
splits. Yeah,
some
splits,
stones
some
here.
gravel, yeah, and then drop-offs around the edge. But on the other hand, it's relatively wide. But actually, do you know what? It doesn't look that bad.
Well, it goes too fast, but that sign most definitely said double digits.
The descent after the next climb is sort of similar, but it's going to be longer, so we're getting a little bit of a preview.
This is Fuzili, not to be confused with the pasta. Same story actually as the town we visited before, Agdam, also severely damaged in the war that took place in the early 1990s, and they're now putting a lot of money towards reconstructing it, including an airport and some very impressive road infrastructure as well. It's hard to imagine this was an active war zone 3 years ago, isn't it?
Well, you could say the same about Flanders.
Yeah, but that's 100 years ago.
Yeah, true.
But still, you can see the signs. If you race or if you ride in the north of France or in the province of Western Flanders, for example, in the Westhoek, where we of course raced the race that was previously known as Gent-Wevelgem, you can still see in the terrain where certain villages were completely obliterated, and also, of course, on the maps. And apparently still 100+ years after the Great War, the First World War, people are still finding grenade shells in the fields in the west of Flanders and the north of France.
There are places where you can still see the trench outlines from the trenches. Yeah, so
we were
100 years on.
And of course, the landscape in the north of France and the southwest of Belgium dotted with cemeteries as well, commemorating the sacrifice there of the young men and women sometimes for the freedom of Europe. It's a very impressive region to visit if you want to learn a little bit about history.
Hugo Asnar.
Yeah, might think he has a flat there. That's scary on a descent.
Here. He's very nervous about the descent for some reason.
I would.
Yeah, well, yes, but he looks more nervous than I would have expected.
Well, that was our descent. It was not really all that impressive, and we have started climbing again. This is the last climb of the Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan tour. It is well, it says a second category. On my road book, it was a first. Oh, it is the second common. It's a cat one. Yes, exactly. Very confusing. Yep. Average 6.7%. That is considerably more demanding than the previous one.
It's proper steep, though, because it's good. There are sections of it that are rather more than that, too.
Looks like Hugo Asnar might. Well, he was not looking very comfortable on that descent, Michael. So I think he's trying to come back to that group right now. Asnar, of course, is the number 6 on GC.
He was at the back of the group. Certainly, at one point on the climb, he was sitting at the back of the group. I'm kind of surprised if he was. I'd be surprised if he was struggling to stay with that group. But he certainly looks like he's having difficulty. But the main gap seemed to just open up on the descent, so might well be able to plug his way back. These guys have got 27 seconds, which isn't completely trivial.
What's left in this race is this climb, the 6.7% average climb. Top of the mountain at 14.7, and then we have a long and, according to the road book, quite dangerous descent. Basically, we hit the town of Khankendi and finish it off with a 2.7 kilometer climb at 4.9 average, and only the last 300 meters are flat. We have a little bit of a tailwind going up the climb, and yet again, we're on the faster schedule.
Yeah, this whole race has rattled off faster than they were expecting, I have to say.
No, I'm lying. We're actually on the faster schedule. What a job here by the Leaning Star team. They have been very active in this race and really left quite the mark on the race. Of course, with the stage win on the opening stage with Alexei Schnirko, but still with a couple of riders who could do well on GC, although it looks like work is done for the man from Romania.
Yeah, they've got 4 riders in that 19-second group. I don't know how many of those 4 riders are in this group, actually, would be my follow-up question. Obviously, we've seen the 2 of them. There's another Leaning Star rider, I think, further down the group, but I don't know. Ah, here we go.
There we go, on the attack even. I think that is our British front. But the situation at the moment, at 17.8 kilometers to go, we have 2 leaders, Josh Burnett of the Burgos Burpela team, the man from New Zealand, and David Delgado of the team Quick Pro. I couldn't find a relation to Pedro Delgado, by the way, but of course, there are many people with the name of Delgado in Spain.
You see Aaron Gate sitting about halfway down the bunch. So, look, how many of the XDS group are? How many XDSs do we have in this group? It's at least 3. Are there any more than that? There's Gate, Fedorov, and Balabrhan are up here. I think that's it. That's the extent of it. All of whom are in contention really for the win.
And the other bluish jerseys are the 3 Bardiani guys with Covilli, Martinelli, and Toglio.
So we do actually have a lot of contenders in this group.
Definitely.
From several different teams, so there's quite a lot of different scenarios can play out here. This pair here are still, if anything, also pulling the gap out.
These guys are also at 19 seconds, both of them. Josh Burnett. Yeah. Oh, Delgado goes overboard here. He tries to get back onto the wheel of the man from New Zealand, from Invercargill, but it's hard to keep the wheel. Burnett is a pretty good rider, actually. This is his 2nd year on the team. He's 25. Won a few races in New Zealand. Raced Liège. Was part of the breakaway that day, if you remember.
And this race is beginning to revert to type, because one of the characteristics we've seen of every single stage so far is that with about 17 kilometers to go, there's a lot of attacking, a lot of looking, a lot of somebody else chasing. Nobody's really taken control of this race. It's been interesting that XDS and Astana have left much of running this race up to other people, up to the other teams. And I mean, I suppose in some ways they can do, because they're in such a dominant position. It maybe is up to kind of Kern Farmer to take the race to them, but they've certainly let that happen.
But Burpellet also have got 3 riders in quite close on GC with Fagundes, Burnett, and Garcia. So
true.
Garcia Pierna, that is. So we've got Bardiani CSF with 3 riders, Equipo Kern Pharma with 3, XDS Astana with 3. Although, is that the blue jersey? No, that's not the blue jersey at the back. It is a blue jersey, but not Fedorov's jersey.
I mean, in some ways, the key to some of XDS Astana's tactic, and this is going to be that there are very few riders in the race who can overhaul them on GC on time bonuses, and they've also got kind of good, reasonable sprinting talent up here that looks to me like it's going to come to the line in this group. So they're in a strong position from that point of view, because if it all comes to the line together, well, they can probably take out the sprint anyway, and they've got options on that, because they've got 3 riders in this group, all of whom can sprint pretty competently.
Yeah, my money today is on Hinak Molabaran to bring home the GC, the man from Eritrea. He's currently in 3rd position, 6 seconds down on our race leader.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. How's Alexandria Balmer's sprint? I must admit to not being too sure.
Well, there was that sprint with Fedorov, of course. That was, we gave him a 1 out of 100 chance, I think, to win against Fedorov, if I recall correctly.
And lo and behold,
he almost did it. 1.5 kilometers left on this rather brutal climb. Josh Burnett in the lead, David Delgado not that far back, and then that group of around 20. We lost the mountain jersey. We lost Simon Pelot from that group, and yeah, we're about to lose a few more riders because this is absolutely a brutal, brutal climb. Luca Corvili is currently in pursuit of both Delgado and Burnett. Corvili, of course, also at 19 seconds. There's 10, 6 and 4 seconds on the line. This could be quite close. I do get confirmation from Jeremy Fort of Africa Cycling. Africa Rising, I should say. There's a lot of gravel indeed on the road, and that will be the case on the descent that we are going to do in a kilometre from now. So you need to be quite brave to do this.
And you can also see the road surface isn't very flat from one side to the other.
No.
And if you think about kind of going around a hairpin bend, the last thing you want to do is have the camber flicking from side to side. So I'm a little bit nervous for this descent, if I'm honest, Jose.
So am I.
Not the peloton.
This is
that what's left?
This is what attacked from the peloton. So that means it doesn't include Fedorov, and I think XCS Astana are playing the Henok Mouleveran card. I would, because he leaves a really, really good impression. Went for the bonus seconds as well. There we go.
And he was second in the bunch sprint yesterday, so we can kick at the line as well.
Most definitely. Although we have an uphill finale yet again. Josh Burnett, good pacing here by Burnett, who joined the team from Spain in 2025 after riding for teams from New Zealand, Miltuck, and of course Bolton Equities Black Spoke, a team that sadly is no more. There is Fedorov, Gianni Marchand in that group. Alex Balmer is up here as well, and Aaron Gates and Garcia Pierna. It looks like this is Group 3, and Henok Mouleveran is just ahead of them. And if you take into account, I think it might be more than 19 seconds to this group with regards to our leader, Josh Burnett, at the moment.
Maybe. Is Lennart Teugels, where's he gone?
No, he's gone.
Dropped.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's been dropped. And Balmer is there, number 41. But he is most likely not going for those 10 points, since we still have Delgado up front, Corvili, and of course Josh Burnett. So that means that Teugels...
Quite a gap to close in a kilometre, yeah. So
definitely.
Exactly.
Teugels has got the jersey. Good for him. And a few little toys to bring back to his young son, Elias. There goes Gianni Marchand. Fedorov is struggling on this climb, Michael, isn't he? So is Balmer, by the way.
Doesn't look happy. Balmer looks better than Fedorov, I would have been my first thought.
So these are the numbers 1 and 2 on GC in the blue jersey, and the man with number 41. Aaron Gate is pacing Yevgeny Fedorov at the moment. Garcia Pierna is the Burgos-Burpelet-Biace rider. This is Gianni Marchand. 500 meters for the top, meaning, indeed, it's indicated now that it's almost a minute to the blue jersey, Michael. It was a lot more than the 19 seconds that was indicated.
I can believe that. Well, I think the 19 seconds was always to this group here. I think what we've added is the peloton to that graphic. So I think this is, and I can certainly believe that we've got 45 seconds from this group back.
Here we've got Mouleveran, of course. We've got Berade of Equipo Kern Pharma. We have Tolio Martinelli of Bardiani, and one rider of Burgos-Burpelet. And of course, one rider of Leaning Star, that is Eduardo Sepulveda, the Argentinian rider.
Mouleveran looks like he's going to be hard to drop, doesn't he?
Looks on fire.
He went after that attack with very little trouble.
I don't know if we have, according to the road book, the top of the climb was 14.7. Well, there it is. There is Commissaire Martin Bruin. Josh Burnett takes the 10 points. Delgado takes second place on that climb. And here is a group with Sepulveda, with Berade, with Tolio, with Martinelli, with Eric Antonio Fagundes, and Henok Mouleveran. Technically, Mouleveran is not in the lead just yet. That is Josh Burnett. What a monster of a climb that was.
It's one of the kind of things about doing some of these more, races that are new to me and new to a lot of the viewers. And actually, this is kind of a new race because it last ran in 2017. You come across these terrific climbs and great parcours that you really weren't expecting.
I enjoyed the race, actually. Unknown riders, getting to know a new country, getting to know new riders as well. Yeah, I like it.
I am interested and slightly nervous to see this descent. It's just that kind of thing on the right that we've passed. There's a lot of this kind of thing from what I can see from the images I found of this descent. It's not super technical, particularly given the width of the road. But I worry it might have some surprises lurking in it.
I'm also curious to see what that thing is on the right hand side of the road. It looked like either a roller coaster or a giant wooden statue of a brachiosaur. Oh, I just get word that Fedorov has crashed. Jeremy Fort of Africa Rising tells me that if Evgeny Fedorov is on the deck, let's see if we get some information. He was in this group, wasn't he, Michael?
He was in the next group back, wasn't he? Actually, what group is this? Is this the Miliband group? It is, yeah. He wasn't in this group. He was the next group back with Balmer. So it's the other question is, where is Alexander Balmer in this descent?
Yeah, most definitely. Oof. And this descent basically ends at the foot of the final climb, which is 2.7 kilometers. So we still have another 10-ish kilometers to go.
Going downhill for a long time here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I suspect that might not be, Fedorov might not be the last incident. Just like how steep this is, you can see on the right-hand side of the road the way the wall steps down. This is very fast. And
he is back on the bike, is what Pro Cycling Stats reports right now, Evgeny Fedorov. But of course, it will be with wobbly legs after going down.
And his legs looked a little bit wobbly even before that.
11.2 kilometers to go. We have one leader, is a man from New Zealand, Josh Burnett. Close behind him is David Delgado. They both attacked from the peloton on the climb that we just did. Luca Corvili is still in between of the Bardiani CSF 7 Sabre Group team. And then a group with Muleberan, Berade, Martinelli, Tolio, Facundes, Sepulveda. And we got word that Evgeny Fedorov, the man in the blue leader's jersey, has crashed but is back on the bike. We don't know how big the gap is. Also, a little bit behind this group, roughly 30 seconds, is our number 2 on GC, Alex Balmer. So for now, it looks really good for Josh Burnett because he is only 13 seconds behind Muleberan in GC.
Yeah, and this kind of descent, it's not terribly straightforward to make up time. You need to be quite organised about it. Just because the speeds are so high, it's difficult to really get an enormous amount of differential. A lot of it comes down to kind of aerodynamics. You can see Josh Burnett, well aware of that. The elbows low, the level forearms, the head down. He's tucked in beautifully on this, but you can just see when you're going at this kind of speed, how do you set about catching somebody?
Yeah, we're both going roughly the same speed, of course, on these kind of descents.
I mean, a group in theory can go a little bit quicker because you can kind of rush into somebody's slipstream, come through. You can kind of do through and off without pedaling, if you like. And the CDA of the group, the drag of the group, aerodynamically, is lower than the solo rider.
Oh, don't go too close to the edge.
Terrific in theory, but quite hard to work in practice. It's got about 25 seconds, do we think? This is the group we're looking at now is the third group on the road. No, this is the fourth group on the road. They're right. I think they're a bit closer than 45 seconds.
They're about 700 meters behind Burnett, which of course on the descent doesn't really amount to that much time. But still, there is a gap. And Josh Burnett looks really, really solid at the moment at the front. Yeah, Group 2 technically is David Delgado. Group 3 still Luca Corvili. He's up the road there. And then this is Group 4. But Muleberan, he still has to make up time on Josh Burnett. He doesn't have any teammates left. So he'll have to do it all by himself. For now, Josh Burnett looks really solid to bring it home here. I don't want to jinx him in any shape or form. He hasn't got a professional win officially, because normally we say that races from 0.1 level up, third division level up, are professional races. He won in New Zealand.
His biggest problem is he's got that 3.5 kilometre finishing climb.
Yeah, but
big question is what legs has he got when he gets there?
True. He's got word that there is quite a lot of gravel down on the descent from Africa Rising's Jeremy Fort, who's in the neutral service car. So hopefully everybody navigates that in one piece. Oh, we're both looking at this, Michael, and you might be looking at this the same way as we are at home. It is looking rather sketchy. There seems to be a lot of gravel on the road here.
I think looking at the road, it looks like it's been cleaned, but there's still a lot of rubbish about.
Yeah, do not go too close to the edges. And there is a big gap to Kovili. Kovili should be the next one. There he is. There is a little bit of wind, but luckily not that much. I did a descent here in France yesterday, and it was full-on storm, and then all of a sudden you come out of a corner and the wind hits you from the side, and it can be rather sketchy.
Try doing
luckily
it on
the wind...
oh,
I'm never going to do that ever. Not even on the flat. But today the wind looks rather... Well, we got these very helpful thingies on the side of the road again. It's not that bad at the moment. But imagine having side winds here. Is that Balmer? No, that's Santi Umba. No, yeah, there it is. Balmer and Santi Umba. Aaron Gate here.
Aaron Gate coming back on. Fedorov. Is Fedorov going to come through, do we think? Because that group's kind of coming back together.
Yeah. Uriarte is the man here for Equipo Pharma. Camargo, of course. This is that gravelly bit. Stay in one piece.
It's so uneven. Look at it. It's bumpy as well.
Well, there's a 50 km/h speed limit. It's probably not for nothing. The road is really, really wide. That is nice. It's not very tight corners, but yes, it is.
These gaps aren't really moving. It's kind of what we were saying on the descent. It's so hard to make a difference, and it's beginning to come down to that last 3.5 kilometres. At which point, if Josh Burnett has got 41 seconds on these guys, David Delgado is only 10 seconds behind Josh Burnett, and he's on 19 seconds as well. And Luca Kovili is also on 19 seconds, so it's a very fluid situation. There are at least 4 or 5 riders who could win this from here.
Yeah. Johnny Marchand also made his way back to the front there in the colours of Tarteletto Isorex. A real GC guy, a breakaway man as well. Aaron Gate is really impressing me. I already saw that last year in Boucle de la Mayenne, which is quite a hilly race in the west of France. His climbing skills, if you still stay with this group on the 2 grueling climbs that we have, you're much more than a sprinter. And Aaron Gate is doing really well. Maybe if he moves up, he can help Moulebaran just a little bit to close that gap on Burnett, because at the moment, the man from New Zealand is in pole position to take his first win and his first GC win as well. He's up there, just going through the corner. This is David Delgado. This is so fast, Michael. Wow.
I'd love to see one of those shots of the motorbike speedo, because this race is kind of almost neutralised just by the steepness of this descent. There's nothing anyone can really do, because every so often someone at the front tries to pedal for a few pedal strokes, they blur along at 130 RPM for a few seconds, and then decide they're adding nothing. All you can do is get your head down and be aero.
Yeah, and be sure that you touch all the major points on both your saddle and your handlebars, otherwise you might get disqualified.
There is that. You could have raced from one side of this road to the other, never mind a long one.
We're inside the final 4 kilometers already, because this descent is so incredibly fast. The race goes really, really fast. The situation, Josh Burnett still in the lead. The descent has almost come to an end right now. Here he is, our man from New Zealand, representing Burgos Burpelet BH. The Spanish team, only 1 win so far for them this season. That was all the way back in January, the Clásicas de Lerdo, I think it was in March actually, one of those one-day races in Spain. So it could be a very welcome win, 2 wins potentially, and a lot of points. And that is one of the reasons that we find Burgos Burpelet in races here in the most eastern part of Europe, officially Europe Tour, but also in many races in Asia. 3 kilometers, Michael. It is going to be crunch time. What can Aaron Gates still do for Mouleberan to bring him back to the front?
Look at Coley back in this group as well. So there's only 2 riders out front now, David Delgado and Josh Burnett. If the time gaps are right, the thing is, Burnett's had a bit of recovery on the descent. So if he's got 41 seconds and 3 kilometers to go, you'd be backing him pretty hard.
And here we are, the final climb of this Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race. It's 2.7 kilometers for 5% average. The last 300 meters are flat. This man is Josh Burnett, a man from New Zealand representing Burgos Burpelet. He attacked on the previous climb alongside David Delgado, who's about 10 seconds behind him. And this is a group with Henok Mouleberan, who is the number 3 on GC. Also, Alex Balmer is up here. Yevgeny Fedorov, giving him a wrong name. Yevgeny Fedorov is a little bit further back, our race leader, Michael, because he crashed on the descent. And that means that Burnett is currently in pole position to win this. But that shot was very indicative. The gaps are rather small as Diego Camargo goes for an attack. And almost all of this group, Michael, are at 19 seconds from race leader Fedorov and only 15 from Balmer.
It's extraordinarily open, almost. I mean, we're still in a position where at least half a dozen guys can still win this.
Aaron Gate is pacing Henok Mouleberan, who took 2 bonus seconds on the line, so he's only 2 seconds down on Balmer at the moment. We're not taking into account Fedorov anymore.
Yeah, Fedorov seems to be out of it, so it comes down to really race between this man and can Aaron Gate get his teammate back into it.
Aaron Gate was already so important in the win of Gleb Syriza, and he's really proving his weight in gold. Again, chasing his compatriot, of course, from New Zealand, Josh Burnett. The gap is coming down for our man from New Zealand, for Josh Burnett, who, of course, gave a lot on that climb. But this is, well, 5% average, but this is a little bit more than 5.
There's 10, 6 and 4 seconds, bonus seconds available on the line as well.
He's
worth remembering because we're quite tight now. Sorry, Jose.
Yes, I don't want to interrupt you, but we're inside the final 2 kilometers. Burnett is trying to get the pace again, getting out of the saddle. Remember, he is 19 seconds back on Fedorov. We don't take him into account. 15 on Balmer and 13 only on Mouleberan. 10 seconds on the line. Well, for now, he's still in pole position, but he has to keep this pace up for 1.6 kilometers right now. It's going to be very tight.
I think he's up against it. That group's not that far behind. They're going to be able to see him on this straight, I think.
Yeah, but they all have to face the same climb, and they all did almost 3,000 meters of elevation. There's still 1 man between Josh Burnett and the peloton. That is David Delgado. He could go for a really good GC result of the Quick Pro team, a Chinese team as well. Ooh, he's struggling a little bit now, isn't he?
He's beginning to feel it. Oh, this is right. This is right on a knife edge. He's going to be... He might, if he can stay in front, he can do it on the time bonuses, possibly.
Yeah, it's going to be so tight. We'll have to have our calculators ready. We can spot the blue jersey there of Aaron Gate at the front, but also Bardiani CSF 7 Sabre have got 3 riders in that first group, and they're all on the same time with regards to Alex Balmer, who's also still in that group. So we'll have to get our calculators out as we have the Flamme Rouge, which is, well, most definitely not Rouge. There is...
I think it's Rouge on the other side.
It might be, indeed. We're just counting towards Delgado, who's almost swooped up by the peloton. 10, 11, 12... It is still around that 20-second mark, Michael, inside the final kilometre. Final 300 metres are flat. This section has a slight tailwind for Josh Burnett.
Yeah, the tailwind doesn't, in this instance, necessarily help the group behind. It'll be helping him, if anything. That flat last 300 metres might be critical of this one. I'm beginning to believe again. Actually, I was very doubtful at the bottom of that climb, but I'm beginning to have faith because I think he's maybe going to do it. Because that gap is not coming down as fast as I expected it, so everyone's clearly feeling the climbing they've done today.
He raced his first monument only a few weeks ago in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, a signing for Burgos-Bourg-Pellet last year. Josh Burnett, a team, of course, in search of points, and they could get a really big hole if they manage to win the final stage, and most definitely when they get the overall. We are approaching that final corner, and Josh Burnett still has enough time on the peloton as it stands to bring home the GC. Aaron Gate is doing an absolute formidable job there for Henak Moulaveran. The difference between Moulaveran and Josh Burnett is 13 seconds on GC. There's 10 for him if he reaches the finish line first, and Moulaveran could technically be second with 6, and then it has to be 9 seconds between them, Michael. 50 meters to go for Josh Burnett. 50 meters. He's got his first professional win. Of course, he's won in New Zealand, but this counts as his first professional win. Josh Burnett takes it, and now we have to count. He has got the 10 seconds, and Moulaveran is indeed sprinting for those bonuses, but I think, judging from what we have here, I think Josh Burnett wins the overall.
I think Josh Burnett takes that by about 2 or 3 seconds.
Oof, we'll have to wait for official confirmation, but I think he's taken the 10 seconds. It was 13 on the line. Moulaveran took 6. I think it's...
16, that's very close.
We'll have to wait for confirmation there. We'll have to wait for confirmation. But we do know that Josh Burnett wins the stage, and we'll await official confirmation whether he also has the overall. This is Fedorov. He went down on the descent and lost the GC. But look at the celebrations here with Eric Antonio Fagundes and Josh Burnett. And what a race by Burgos-Bourg-Pellet, also celebrating Carlos Garcia Pierna. 3 riders in that first group. And Josh Burnett, he attacked on that first cat climb that we had following the attack of David Delgado. What a race by Josh Burnett. But judging from the struggle we saw from Fedorov, Michael, I think he couldn't have stayed with that group anyways or come back.
Yep, I think that's probably true. Probably, yeah. I think Josh Burnett takes that. The question, do we know where Alexandre Balmer finished in that group? Because he could still potentially...
Yeah, he didn't take any bonus seconds. That is the pivotal thing.
Yes, you're right.
But the man of the day is Josh Burnett, a man from Invercargill in New Zealand, 25 years young. This counts as his first professional win for Burgos-Bourg-Pellet BH, the team from Spain. And what a phenomenal ride by him.
Wondering slightly if he knew how tight that was in GC, because he started celebrating quite a long time before the line. I think he thought he was just going for the stage there.
Fagundes trying to take the bonus seconds off Moulaveran. Well,
good teamwork.
Well, he thinks he has it, but, well, it's going to be awfully close, isn't it? 12 seconds is indicated at the moment at the line. It comes down to 1 or 2 seconds only. We'll have to wait for official confirmation here, Michael, before we call it. But what a monster job by Aaron Gate yet again. If Moulaveran takes it in the end, it's down to Aaron Gate with that fantastic pull. I'm still on Team Burnett for the GC, but we'll have to wait for official calculations from the commissaires, because it comes down to seconds.
Pretty sure it's Josh Burnett.
We are, but...
well, the gap on the line was 12 seconds, so...
I just hear from onside, it is official. Josh Burnett wins the Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race with a gap of indeed 3 seconds even on Moulaveran. This is the result the provisional top 10. Josh Burnett wins ahead of Henok Mulleberan, Erik Fagundes, Alessio Martinelli, Santi Umba, Gianni Marchand, Luca Covili, Alex Tolio, Urco Berardi and Diego Uriarte. That is the top 10 on the day here in Khankendi, with the Caucasus Mountains in the background. And then we'll wait for official confirmation. But the provisional top 10 that I have is Josh Burnett wins ahead of Henok Mulleberan, 3 seconds between them. Balmer in third, Fagundes in fourth, Covili in fifth. There we go. Josh Burnett gets it. 3 seconds on Mulleberan. Alex Balmer, Fagundes, Covili, Berardi, Umbe, Uriarte, Martinelli and Carlos Garcia Pierna. Well, I'm glad that our calculations were correct, and I'm really, really elated for Josh Burnett, who wins the stage and the race. Well, I have received some messages, Michael, that we have more podium ceremony fans, especially, of course, after our mix-up yesterday with jerseys and stickers that wouldn't come off. So we're ready for more drama.
Yeah, yesterday's was a fun podium, actually.
Well, after yesterday's rather dramatic day in the Giro d'Italia, I hope everybody has had a warm water bottle in their beds and some warm tea and maybe even a sip of rum to get back the core temperature after yesterday's absolute horrible weather circumstances in Italy. Because today we continue with what looks to be a sprint stage, Michael. Go. It is the stage 6, 141 kilometers only from Paestum to Napoli. We only have a 4th category climb after 40 kilometers in. We start on the coast and go slightly inland. It's a 4th category climb, 6.4 kilometers at 3%. There it is. And then almost an entire flat finale with, well, another chance for the likes of Paul Magnier, Jonathan Milan, Dylan Groenewegen to bring home a win. Magnier, of course, already has 2. So today might be the day for Johnny Milan. Of course, we'll be live with you from start to finish for the stage here in Italia. And that will be from 12:30 British summer time and 1:30 local Italian time. Also today we have a race in Wallonia, Circuit of Wallonia. That will be live at 2:20 local Belgian time. And of course, stage 2 of the Tour of Hungary, where Tim Merlier won the first stage. That will be on 3 p.m. Hungarian time. We got a highlights reel of today's stage 5, the final stage of the Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race. 181.5 kilometers for the riders with almost 3,000 meters of elevation. We had a breakaway of 8 riders, including Oscar Sevilla, who's the first man to go into this tunnel here. Also on this group we had Eduardo Perez Landaluse, Jorben Laurijsen, Arne Santi, the 2 Belgians for Tartaletto Isorex, František Matuszewski, Jonathan Kerkhoffs, Mohamed Selan and Oscar Sevilla, I mentioned him of course, and Roman Chisco is the 8th man in our breakaway. They got a gap of around 3 minutes with Equipo Kern Pharma doing a lot of work at the front. One of the many teams who had multiple riders still within 20 seconds of the race lead. Fedorov started the day in the blue leaders jersey, Manenti in the green points jersey, the winner of stage 4. Lennart Teugels, the king of the mountains, and Iker Gomez, the best young rider. These are the last 2 remaining riders of our breakaway of 8, with in the yellowish black purple ensemble Jorben Laurijsen of Tartaletto Isorex, and on his wheel the 49-year-old Oscar Sevilla. His teammates were doing the chasing with, of course, Camargo, also one of those riders at 19 seconds from race leader Fedorov, so still within a shot. We had 2 grueling climbs with gradients well into the double digits. The first one, 7.7 kilometers long, 4.6% average. Doesn't say anything if you have double digits and a small descent even. And then the last one, a first category climb with the top of the climb at 15 kilometers from the line. This is still on that first climb, which was 7.7 kilometers long. A very short descent followed with Laurijse still in first position. But then the final really started for the peloton, where we didn't have a whole lot of riders left. 125 started today. And here is Fedorov. And this is the moment that, yeah, the decisive attack was actually placed. We have in the blue and pink David Delgado of Quick Pro Team, and on his wheel of Burgos Bourg-Pellet BH, Josh Burnett. A little bit of indecision behind him as many riders now try to bridge across with Alex Balmer, of course, the number 2 on GC, Moule-Beran, the number 3 on GC. Fedorov looking in a little bit of trouble on these climbs on a really big gear today. And he will be dropped. He is now in a third group alongside Alex Balmer, by the way. So it looks positive for Henno Moule-Beran, if it were not for the man still up front, and that is Josh Burnett. A counter-attack by Luca Kovili of Bardiani CSF 7 Sabre as we almost reach the top of that climb. A sketchy descent with gravel on the road and some wide bends, a little bit of wind coming from the side. But Josh Burnett started this descent with around 35 seconds on Moule-Beran. Delgado still in between. And after this descent, we start climbing straight away, 2.7 kilometers to the finish line. Camargo tried an attack there on the right-hand side of the road for Medellin EPM. But still up the road, we had Josh Burnett, and he made it. He takes his first professional win, and with a margin of only 3 seconds, this celebration could have cost him dearly. But with a margin of 3 seconds, he wins the overall, despite the fact Moule-Beran taking some bonus seconds here. 3 seconds between them, and Josh Burnett is the winner of the newly planned Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race, stepping in the footsteps of a certain Primoz Roglic, Michael, who's also a winner of this race.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
Well, we never know. It might be ski jumping.
That was very tight. I was kind of trying to work that out on the line, although the clock on the screen graphic clock was giving it at 9 seconds, not 12.
Yeah, then we got all sorts of confused. And so,
yep.
But luckily,
it depends
we
what
did.
The official clock is.
But it's great for Josh Burnett. It's great for the team as well, because well, it's not happening every day that a second division team wins a bike race with the big teams like UAE taking a lot of the spoils there. But for Burgos BH, it's win number 2 and 3 of the season. There's Oscar. Will he be back next year when he's 50? I think so.
Ah, good chance.
Yeah,
what's the retirement age? Is he Spanish or Colombian these days?
He's Colombian.
He's Colombian. I'm wondering what the retirement state retirement age is. If you could just retire from cycling like a normal person.
He's still smiling.
10 seconds.
Hi, Oscar. Todo bien.
He won a stage with the Tour of Romandy last century.
Josh Burnett,
Here's our winner.
Congratulations to the stage wins here today. What was the performance? How do you view this stage today?
Yeah, it was quite a fast and flat start. So, yeah, we did the first 100K in 2 hours, so that went pretty quickly. And I think everyone was just waiting for the last, the last 60Ks of the stage with pretty much all of the climbing for the day. So, yeah, the breakaway went and was quite well controlled by a few other teams. So we were happy just waiting. And then, yeah, once we hit the climbs, we were able to execute our plan pretty well.
What was the deciding factor today for the stage win and also for the overall ranking?
I think for us was just having 3 guys at the front on GC, so we had a lot of options. And for me, yeah, I'm not the fastest sprinter, so I had to go quite early, and that was the plan to give Eric a free ride in the bunch behind. And I managed to go with David Delgado, and we worked together quite well. And then I just got away on the last climb and managed to hold on until the finish. So yeah, I'm super stoked.
It was a smart move. It's only 3 seconds to the second to Henok Mulubran. Was it a bit of luck, or did you say, when did you know that you will not only win the stage, but maybe the overall ranking?
Yeah, maybe like 4 minutes, 5 minutes after the finish. I didn't really know. I looked behind a few times, but you have no idea what's happening. So once the math was done and the bonuses were added up, it was pretty cool to hear that I managed to get the overall as well.
Okay, how will the rest of the start, the day will be for you? Will you have a big party with your team?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure of the logistics. We need to go back to Baku tonight, but for sure it's my first professional win, so I'll enjoy it with the team tonight, because it's pretty hard to win a bike race. So I'm pretty stoked, and it's a really big moment for myself and the team.
Great, then congratulations again, and have a good time here and enjoy the day. Thank you.
And we're stoked for Josh. That was a gutsy ride, Michael.
It was. He stayed committed to that. I say that celebration could have been dangerous, because I honestly thought for a second he'd lost the GC with his arms in the air, and you wouldn't have wanted to do that. But yeah, first professional win, took it with a degree of aplomb, but that was a hard finish up that last climb for him.
Well, that concludes this new edition of the Baku-Khankendi race. The first day, it was a sprint win for Alexei Shnirko. Second was a two-up sprint between Fedorov and Balmer. Fedorov took the lead. Then we had a sprint win for Syriza yesterday. Marco Manenti with his first win, and today Josh Burnett with his first and second professional win. A good race here in Azerbaijan. On behalf of Michael Hutchinson and myself, Jose Bain, thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the Giro today, and also Wallonia and Hungary is up for you to enjoy, and Itzulia Women is coming up soon for the Women's World Tour. Enjoy. Ooh, there's our favourite mascot person again. He still doesn't have any viewing holes, doesn't he? Like
doesn't have a little window. Yeah.
Oh, no, he has to breathe again. He has to come up for air, as horses normally do. There we go, Lennart Teugels, our king of the mountains.
Lennart
Teugels,
congratulations for defending the red jersey for the best climber. What was the impression, what was the setting today for your success?
I think the early breakaway was quite long in front, so I was hoping they would stay completely in front, that the points were gone. And in the end, they got caught, so it was other riders who took the points. So it wasn't my best day in the end. I was a little bit overheated, but yeah, it all came good.
How much does this jersey count for you? Is it something very special, and where would you rank it in your list of successes?
Yeah, for me it's difficult to really get into the top 10, so I rather take a jersey than be 15th or something. So yeah, I think it's already my 5th or my 6th mountain jersey on 0.1 level, so yeah, it's one for the collection.
Very good, congratulations. What are your next ambitions now? What will be the next race?
The next race is already Sunday in Germany, rund Köln. And then my next main goal is Tour de Wallonie. It's start of June.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best for that. Thank you, and all the best for your team, and have a good big party maybe tonight.
Yeah, Tour de Wallonie starts on the 1st of June, so immediately after the Giro d'Italia ends, a race you will be able to watch here as well, of course. It's also when we have the Giro d'Italia women with extended coverage on all women's Grand Tours this year, so really, really cool.
XCS Astana had a bad final stage yesterday, because Aaron Gate got big. He got dropped in the final rush to the line after chasing down for Milibran, and they have only got the one rider in the top 10.
That is nasty.
In Milibran, which, when kind of a World Tour team coming to a race like that, one of your ambitions in life is to hoover up some UCI points, and they haven't had the best week.
The exact same thing happened in Turkey, by the way, where they also dropped out of the top 10 on the penultimate day on the major mountain stage. Oh,
Big team classification, I think, has gone to Berger's Spur Pellet, if I've done my maths right.
I think, because it was only like 8 or 9 seconds between them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got gummies there, many gummies there for Equipo-Ken Pharma, getting some well-needed sugar after today's ride. We heard Lennart Teugel say it was a pretty hot day, and that he was happy that the other riders from the breakaway and the attacks took the points. And as expected, Balmer was not particularly interested in those in that King of the Mountains. And he's a little bit of a specialist, as you may have heard from him. But he's got another jersey. He's got another few toys, plushy toys for his son. Here is Mulleran, the runner-up in GC.
Green jersey for the best sprinter.
And winner of the
How
points
much
jersey.
value does this jersey have for you?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. As a plan, we had to win the yellow jersey, but at the end in the climb, I was alone. I tried to follow every attack, a bit Aron, a bit drop in that place, and we had crash from Fedorov. And after the climb, 3 Bardiani, also 3 Borgos and 2 Kenny Pharma, but just the Bardiani guys, they look at me. I mean, they didn't work when Borgos attacked, so I tried to follow the rest, that guys with me. And when Aron come back in descent, I can say thank you for everything he did, but he tried to close until the last, but he already reached the line, and I try to win the stage and to second place, and we didn't catch in the final 3 seconds. It's really harmful to accept, but it's racing, you know, so we fight as a team. So finally I get second place and I won the green jersey.
Well, fair comment though. So will you be, do you think the next days you will be much more happy about the green jersey than having lost the overall victory?
Honestly, I would like to win the yellow jersey more. This year I focus in the yellow jersey, and my ability was in climbing now a bit better than before. So it would be nice to have the yellow jersey, but now I got the yellow jersey, the green jersey. As a team, we had really good week. We won 2 stages. We have 2 second place, and we really work as a team. And thanks for the young guys also that was here. So we did it, and we tried to win, and finally we get second place and we won the green jersey. The collaborate was really nice. So thank you for the team also.
Thank you very much also for that comment, and we will see you back here again and hope to see you. So good luck and all the best for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice of him to thank the 2, well, not young, but the development team riders from Kazakhstan, Ramis Dinmukametov and Alisher Zumakan. That is a proper podium, Michael. Look at that. Oh, we got more touristy stuff. We have a cave. Let's see if I have cave information.
That's another cave.
Yeah, I have, indeed. One of the most important prehistoric archaeological sites here in the Caucasus. They've been doing excavations since the 1970s, uncovering stone tools and human remains dating back hundreds of thousands of years, including the remains of an early hominid known as the Baku-Khankendi, apparently. Well,
Still riding as a pro rider for Team Medellin.
could well be the truth. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's an impressive piece of staging, actually. Yeah, that's.
I think the overall organisation of what we've seen this week was proper professional, from the way the road book looks to the podium to, yeah, it was well organised. I also hear that from the teams, that they were happy with the hotels, with the travel, with the logistics. So yeah, a good reinstatement of this race. We're looking back to the overall to the winners, with Alexei Schnirko winning the opening stage. Fedorov in that dramatic 1-2 sprint with Alex Balmer on day 2, which meant that he took the blue leader's jersey, the man from Kazakhstan. Klepseritsa with a powerful win after a phenomenal lead out by Aaron Gate, wins stage 3 just ahead of Timothy Dupont. And Christian David Pita. Then on day 4, we had a reduced bunch sprint. We had all the major sprinters already dropped, and the man in the middle with the blue helmet, Marco Manenti, beating Henok Muleberan. If Muleberan would actually have won this stage, Michael, he would have won the overall.
If almost anything had unfolded differently for Muleberan, he'd have won the overall. It was so tight. As I say, when we crossed the line, I thought it was tight. I really did. Yeah,
but when he crossed the line, he thought he had it. But
no, he clearly did.
But this man has it with a very audacious attack. Josh Burnett on that first cat climb, winning it by just 3 seconds. But a day he'll remember.
It's a difficult position for riders to calculate on the road because there's such a really relatively large group. Was it kind of 20, 25 riders sitting all on 19 seconds? And if any of them get across the line first, when they get the 10-second bonus, effectively a 4-second bonus because Muleberan was second. But you can't watch everybody, and I suspect Muleberan just possibly just not aware that Josh Burnett was that close to him on the GC.
Well, we have some water management coming up with one of these touristy highlights, and that is the Kondalanche reservoirs. There we go. And they are an hydraulic infrastructure system designed to support irrigation and regional water management, built on the river called Kondalanche. And they play an important role, of course, to water the agricultural lands in the surrounding areas. And this is also part of the big infrastructure development projects that we have here in the Karabakh region, the region that was an active war zone only 3 years ago. Well, we're taking our sweet time now with the podium ceremonies. Hopefully everybody's got the right jerseys ready, because that was there was some confusion yesterday about jerseys as well.
There was. Didn't really do any didn't do any harm in the end, but and I guess it also who was it? Was the red jersey was given to the leader of the points competition?
To Manenti, yeah.
That was it, Manenti. Manenti's got a photograph of himself wearing a Mountains jersey. So
yeah, he'll be happy.
So that'll be worth something to him. He can show his grandchildren and tell them that he won the King of the Mountains at the Tour of Azerbaijan. I think the only race where I typically have seen more national flags being waved is the Tour of Britain.
And the Tour of Turkey as well.
Ah, yes, Tour of Turkey.
Almost taking out one of the sprinters, actually, who got a flag in his face. That's not what you should be doing with flags.
Remember the big plastic fingers they used to hand out for battering sprinters over the head with at the Tour?
In the Tour de France, yes.
Yeah. Happily we've stopped doing that. That is a lot of toy horses. Presumably we are going to be giving one of those to everybody from Burgos, Spur Pellet, where they've won the team, so they're all going to get a toy horse.
Hanımlar ve canımlar, muhterem konaklar, aziz dostlar, az sonra Baku-Khankendi Azerbaycan Eurosport yarışının son 5. mərhələsini və ümumi mükafatlandırma mərasimine başlayacağıq. Odur ki, hamımız birlikdə həmin tarixi xanları Emin heyecanla birlikte yaşayacağız. Az sonra kapatma merasimi başlayacak. Ve galilerimize mükafatlar teklif olacak.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the award ceremony of the Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race. The fifth stage from Tata to Khankendi today. And we will have the podium of this stage here. The third rank from Team Eurosport,
Hanımlar ve canımlar, Baku-Khankendi Azerbaycan Eurosport yarışının 5. merhalesinin ve bu mükafatlandırma merasimine başlıyor. Podyuma devlet oldular. 5. merhale 3. yerin sahibi Baku-Khankendi.
This is the podium of the final stage. Baku-Khankendi.
second place goes to Team XS Astana.
İkinci yerin sahibi Astana komandası.
And the runner-up, Henok Muluberan. I found the interviews like, are you happy with the green jersey? Apparently he was not. Most definitely he was not happy with the green jersey.
No, he wouldn't be. That's not what he came here for.
And there is Josh Burnett. What a podium. You could host the entire Eurovision Song Contest here.
The honors are made by Mr.
Pink dresses are back.
ENG special representative of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. And Mr. Farid Gabiyov, Mr. Minister of Youth and Sports in Azerbaijan.
Mükafatlandırma merasiminde iştirak edin. Fərqli olanlar, Cənab Elçin Yusupov, Khankendi şəhərində Ankara və Xocalı rayonlarında Azərbaycan Respublikası Prezidentinin xüsusi nümayəndəsi və Cənab Fərid Qayıbov, Azərbaycan Respublikasının Gənclər və İdman Naziri.
That is Baku-Khankendi. who really went for those bonus sprints, but Moulebaran beat him on the line. But a good effort there by Fagundes to make sure that Josh Burnett had the best shot at winning the overall. And he did.
Yeah, it was good teamwork. He's had a, he's had a very consistent race because he's in 4th overall in the GC as well.
Yeah, for a fast man on the line, he's also a very decent climber.
Certainly is.
There we go, Tom Horse. He'll be back, of course, our winner of the general classification.
Nice touch that his dresses match the Eurosport kit. I'm just wondering, did they do that deliberately?
Conspiracy, Michael. It's a conspiracy. Burgos Boot Pellet had to win all along.
Or possibly the podium hostesses went and got changed. We don't care to speculate on which.
They had a few different colour dresses. I saw
yesterday was black, I remember.
Indeed. Personally, I find
yesterday,
podium girls a little bit
something
outdated.
We've missed. No, Bardiani, it would have been a turquoise dress yesterday if that's what they were
didn't have that one in the kitty. Personally, I find podium girls terribly outdated, but they didn't ask me for my opinion. Here we go with the overall podium.
Ranked second.
With Alex Balmer there.
Team XDS Astana team, Henok Moulebaran. And the winner of the general qualification and so the winner of the Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan cycling race from Team Boros Group at the ENG, Josh Burnett.
And there is the overall winner of the 7th edition of this race. Something he might not have expected this morning. Of course, he was one of that group of 23 still within contention.
Well, I think so. But certainly something he didn't expect, given bearing in mind it took him 4 or 5 minutes, he said, after the finish to realise he'd won it. I don't think that was his aim at all. He was just there for the stage.
A nice little bonus then to win it as well.
He was lucky because he celebrated a lot harder than a man with a 3-second winning margin should have done. But he was there first and foremost for the stage, which he took out in some style. I felt for him up that last 3.5 kilometre ramp. Actually, Jose, I was thinking that was very finely balanced.
Nice interpretation of the name, Alexandre Balmy. I love the Nippo, Solution Tech Nippo Rally team. It's like a really proper Italian jersey with 322 sponsors on it.
Yeah. Do you know, I find it really hard to pick out in the group when I'm watching. It's the only downside to that kit. I can't see it. Mind, it's not quite as hilarious as XDS and Bardiani's matching kit.
They should really schedule a conference call for next year.
Yep.
And the winner, Josh Burnett, will be honored by Mr. Sauer, Google's president of the
this man, 25 years young, from New Zealand.
So, gentlemen, thank you very much. This is your applause again.
Teşekkürler. Mükafatlandırma merasimi iştirakine fərqli olurlar. Cənab Zavarxunlu, Azərbaycan Lastik İdman Federasiyasının prezidenti və cənab Emin Hüseynov, Ağdam Fizyoterapiyasında Azərbaycan Respublikası prezidentinin xüsusi nümayəndəsi.
Oh, I see, it's a pyrotechnic. I thought it was just fog.
Velosipedçiler İttifakı 2.1 kategoriyalı nüfuzlu Baku-Khankendi Azerbaycan velosiped yarışının galip ve mükafatçıları.
Nice move. Thank you very much. Coming to the sprint qualification, the green jersey presented by Seabreeze for the best sprinter. And we love to honor Henok Molobran.
And in the end, he got the green jersey, the most consistent finisher throughout the week, Henok Molobran. Seventh, second and second were the sprint positions here for Molobran.
The honor is made by Mr. Farid Bagiyov, Minister of Youth and Sport.
En yaxşı sprinterə yaşıl köynəyi təqdim edir. Azərbaycan Respublikası Gençler ve İdman Naziri
most successful week for XDS. Unfortunately for them, they will have kind of come here looking for probably the overall and preferably somebody else in the top 5 or 6 as well. And,
well, 2 stages is not that bad.
No, but I think they'll have wanted more from it. As the only World Tour team here, and I mean, they didn't bring their strongest ever team, but it wasn't a bad team
presented by Seabreeze. To Henok Molobran.
XDS, of course, racing in 3 places today because they're here and they're in Hungary and they're in the Giro. So
yeah, they got
quite thin in terms of their kind of logistics and resources.
Oh, most definitely. They got 2 of their Devo guys here. Of course, that's possible. You can also do it the other way around. Have one of your World Tour pros race with the Devos, and that's exactly what Mathieu Brennan did in Luxembourg yesterday, racing Flèche du Sud, one of the stage races in Luxembourg, and back to his winning ways. But it's it's a little bit of an unfair battle sending Mathieu Brennan to a race with the start field of Flèche du Sud, because he's by far the strongest sprinter climber, etc. He could win again today. He could maybe not win again on stage 3, but he could possibly win again on stage 4. But yeah, he had a little bit of an injury, Mathieu Brennan. This is a good way to edge back into it. So a win is a win.
The red jersey presented by Azerbaijan Airlines.
And the same level race as this one, by the way. They promoted. There is our King of the Mountains. He fought hard for it, being part of breakaways. Today was not his best day, he said, but he brought it home nonetheless for Tokileto Izorex. He would have had ample time to change into normal shoes, but luckily we don't have very scary podium steps here.
The honor is done by Mr. Lin Jin, first Vice President of PST Logistics Company Limited.
They may never have been let out of the presentation compound, because I think they're all still wearing full race suits as well. I don't think any of them have got around to putting on a jersey. So. Do you know what I miss? I miss little cycling caps, proper casquettes.
Yeah,
There's always
true.
something. I mean, call me a Luddite. I don't like the baseball cap so much. I like the little ice cream seller's cap with the upturned peak.
Yes.
Preferably worn always with the peak upturned, obviously.
Most definitely, and judging from the temperatures up north in Europe, where we are now at the moment, we can still wear them underneath our helmets.
Yep.
It's still cold enough.
Time trialing in the UK, you get one of those hats as part of the. For if you win a UK national time trial, you get a gold hat.
Ooh.
A shiny gold casquette.
But it's not very aero.
It's more aero than hair, because of course they did from the era when nobody wore helmets. So people used to ride, people regularly. That's why they hand them out as a time trial prize in the UK. Is people used to ride time trials wearing casquette caps. If you want to be aero, you turned it round so the peak was at the back. That was the aero. That was the sports mode.
From Spain, from Equipo Canfama, Iker Gomez.
Karşılayın en yakşı genç velosipedçi, Akön'ün sahibi Eric Gomez.
And here is our white jersey winner, Iker Gomez, part of the first echelon on day 2, which proved to be decisive for the general classification.
28th place overall, 11 minutes down.
Yeah, remarkable.
You have to be, he was still the best young rider, and I think it's an under-23 young rider. So
yeah,
it's not
2004.
the races where you get a young rider goes to 25, but still a little bit surprising. But again, somebody's got a sticker.
Nice one. And the sticker came prepared as well.
Goes to Iker Gomez.
And that concludes our podium ceremony, Michael, and the race. I enjoyed commentating on the new Baku-Khankendi Azerbaijan race with you. We had great fun and good racing as well.
Thank you for guiding us through it.
Yeah, well, enjoy what we have in store for you today and the coming weeks, and I'll be back next weekend.
Zavrmen s vami.
Baku-Khankendi Azerbaycan velosiped yarışının galip komandası. We would like to ask, Brian, right? There's jerseys here? We would like to ask to come here on the stage again. The four jerseys, the top jerseys, the general qualification with Josh Burnett, the sprinter jersey for Henok Molopran, the mountain jersey with Leonard Toyles, and the white one with Imka Gomez. Please come to the stage again. The four jerseys, general classement for Josh Burnett,